Good evening, everybody. Good evening, SARS. Good evening, Ma. I welcome you all. Welcome. Good evening one more time. My name is God's Power, A. Jakedi, and I'm a Forex trader. I'm a life coach. And to the glory of God, we have helped a whole lot of people in this academy to achieve their aim. Now, I want to say something, people. I know sometimes when some people come into some Forex classes, they'll be asking themselves one or two questions like, am I not a newbie? Are there no experts in the house? Are we not that? Are we not? No, 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 no. The truth is, I am going to start from the scratch. So it's more or less like you are having a knowledge from zero to hero. In other words, whether you have an idea of Forex, just see it as if you don't know Forex, because you are going to be starting from the definition of what? Of Forex. Are you with me? Welcome one more time, everyone. I know probably you'll be wondering, what are we doing for this program? Let me share my screen. Yes, for day one, we'll be looking about, or be talking about introduction to Forex trading. Then I will also talk about exchange rates. We'll now dive into fundamental analysis. Then we'll go into technical analysis. That is what we'll be doing for today. Now for day two, which is tomorrow, I'll talk about pips. I'll talk about lots, leverage, brokers, platforms, and charting softwares. They will now talk about types of traders. You know, we have several types of traders: the day, swing, position trader, algorithmic trader, so on and so forth. They will now talk about technical analysis. From tomorrow, we'll be having live practicals in the class. I repeat, from tomorrow, we'll be having, I said from tomorrow, from Thursday or Wednesday rather, we'll be having live practicals in the class. So what exactly are we doing for Wednesday? I'll tell someone to download MetaTrader 4. I'll now use that person's phone to teach the class. It's really going to be interesting because you must have a very good idea of MetaTrader 4. That same day, I'll teach you some theoretical aspects of MetaTrader 4 and 5. Then lastly, we'll talk about how to manage our trades. One, the use of my FX book, investing.com, Forex Factory, TradingView. Class, I want to say something quickly. I can understand that this is a live program and it is more interesting to be in a live program like this. But for those that are not opportuned to join this moment, I have a channel, a YouTube channel, whereby I like to channel my videos to. So I will simply drop the links there. So you can just go to the channel and watch. And please don't forget to subscribe so that you can also have more good videos to watch right there. So let's proceed. What are we doing today? Like I said, we'll be talking about introduction to Forex trading. Have you sat down and asked yourself, what exactly is Forex trading? Forex trading is simply, some people see it as FX. Are you with me? Some people see it as what? FX. And it is the largest financial market where currencies are bought, sold, and traded for one another. Just a minute, I want to show my screen. Okay, this is it. It's the largest financial market where currencies are bought, sold, and exchanged for one another. Unlike stock markets, it has no centralized exchange, and transactions are performed over the counter. Participants will trade with one another through a worldwide network of banks, brokers, and other financial institutes. Class, I want to tell you something that will surprise you tonight. Do you know that in the Forex market, we have a daily volume of $5 trillion, $5 to $5.2 trillion dropped in the market daily. I am not saying that one person will earn five, of course, if $5 trillion should come my way, my Lord, my God, I know I'm a rich man for life. By the grace of God, we attain that. What I'm trying to say is $5 to $5.2 trillion is dropped for you and I to profit from. The question is, how much will Mr. Kayode get today? How much will Mr. Eden get today? Are you with me? So that is just the essence of it. So daily, certain amounts is dropped for you and I to trade from. Now, when exactly is Forex being traded? Forex is traded 245. 245, I'm saying, is it is traded from Mondays to Fridays. Forex pairs are never traded on Saturdays and Sundays. Rather, what you trade Saturdays and Sundays are cryptocurrencies. Are you with me? If, for instance, you are into cryptocurrency here and you're a Forex trader, you will monitor your phone from Monday to Sunday. Because once you are through with Forex pairs from Monday to Friday, Saturday and Sunday, you also go into it. So let's proceed. Now, what time zone are we looking at? London, New York, Tokyo, Zurich, Frankfurt, Hong Kong, Singapore, Paris, and Sydney. These sections or these countries are the major ones that trade Forex. UK or London, what they deal with is GPP. New York from America, the USD. Tokyo, Yen, JPY. Zurich, Swiss franc. Frankfurt, Germany. You see all those German 30, you see all those things under stocks. Hong Kong, Yen. Singapore, Singaporean dollar. They are also traded. Paris, Euro, France. Sydney, Australian dollar. Now, what sections are they have 3 sections, and these sections are Asia, Europe, and America. Class, have you sat down and asked yourself, what exactly do you do in the Forex market? My brothers, my sisters, you either buy or what? Or you sell. In the Forex market, you either buy or you sell. I have never seen in the Forex market that 2 candles are going the same way, both of them are buying. Or 2 candles are going down, they are both selling. At least with my little experience in this business, I've never seen. So have you sat down and asked yourself, who trades Forex? Have you sat down and asked yourself who trades Forex? The central banks, they trade Forex. In fact, the central bank is the major body that trades Forex. Example of central banks, European central banks, central banks of Nigeria, there's Bank of England, Bank of Canada, then you have Bank of Japan, Bank of America. Are you with me? All these major banks or central banks, they trade Forex. Now, when you notice a great dip or a great move in the Forex market, is an indication that what the big guns. When my boss, I used to remember when I was when my mentor would tell me the big guns have arrived into the market. The big guns are the central banks. Are you with me? Now, who are the subordinates? The subordinates are the commercial banks and the investment bodies. Example of commercial bank are what? The bank you and I will use. If, for instance, Madam Joy is using Guarantee Trust Bank, then she's under the commercial banks. There is no bank in Nigeria that doesn't trade Forex. Are you with me? Aside from your 1150, like me now, what bank they deduct from my account? I always wonder why. I know there are sometimes they do some ATM maintenance and all of that. I agree with you that they make money from that. But do you know that, class? Aside that, there is another source, which is the trading. And these things are usually done in the banks. And this is where they usually, where do you think banks they get money? You see they sponsor some big events. So if you are an expert in this business, you can also be a big boss there. You can be trading for them. Are you with me? You can imagine what you'll be earning. Another set of people that trade Forex are multinational corporations. You see some investment bodies today. Hey, I want to trade for if I drop 2 million, what will I be getting at the end of the month? Are you with me? A lot of people they venture into all of these things. But I always tell people something. I am not saying those bodies they are not good. But why don't you learn it yourself? Why don't you do it yourself? So that you know that you are in charge. Are you with me? So that is that. Multinational corporations, individual investors. The individual investors are you and I. Let's say Mr. Kayode want to trade Forex. Mr. Kayode is probably who? An individual investor. You and I that we know that how much is our money in the Forex market? No matter what I have in the forex market today, I can never use it to even compare the commercial banks or compare what the central banks they do. Are you with me? So we are the individual investors. Look at my slide. You will see a flow chart, and that flow chart is showing the central banks, the major bank, the market makers, and the retail traders. Have you sat down and asked yourself, why is the central bank in the middle? It's an indication that they hold the major body of forex. If you look at the other ones, the major banks are the commercial banks, and the commercial banks are the subordinates. If you look closely, you see the market makers. The market makers are the brokers. I'm going to talk about brokers tomorrow. The market makers are who? They are the brokers. They are also into this forex business. Are you with me? Let's proceed. Now, on to my next slide. On my next slide, there are two types of currency I would like to talk about, and they are the base currency and the quote currency. Now, listen. The first listed currency of a currency pair is called the base currency, and the second currency is called the quote currency. Currency pairs compare the value of one currency to another. Now, look at my screen very well. Look at it so clearly. You notice that there is Euro USD. Now, Euro USD, like I listed some countries, the base currency is Euro, and the quote currency is USD. I repeat, the base currency is Euro, the quote currency is USD. It's just like when you have a pair of shoes. One of it is like the Euro, and the other is the USD. But have it in mind that the first that comes is the what? Is the base currency, and the second is what? Is the quote currency. So that's it. Let's proceed. So now look at the second one. GBP AUD. Class. GBP is the base currency. AUD is the quote currency. GBP is Great Britain pounds. You know, in UK, they spend pounds and their cover is like pence. In UK, they spend USD, and the other one is like what? What's that one again? How come did this escape? Cents. Yes, cents. Are you with me? So that's how it is. Now, class, I want you to use the chat box. I'm just going to give you just 2 minutes. Can you tell me XAU USD? XAU is gold. USD is the symbol of United States. Can you tell me XAU USD? Can you tell me the base currency and the quote currency? Use the chat box with me. XAU USD. Can you tell me the base currency and the quote currency? I'm waiting. Use the chat box. XAU USD. Can you tell me the base currency and the quote currency? I'm waiting, no class. XAU USD. Can you tell me the base currency and the quote currency right there? Okay, Mr. Abiodun, you can mute yourself and speak. Mr. Abiodun, you can mute yourself and speak. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Hello.
Yes, I'm with you. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, I'm with you. Go on, go on.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening, sir. Go on,
Yes.
please.
The XAU is the base.
Okay.
Why the USD is the quote?
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. God bless you. Thank you very, very much. It's very correct. The XAU is the base, while the USD is the quote. God bless you, sir. Thank you, sir. Let's now go to my next phase, which is exchange rates. But okay, exchange rate quickly. Exchange rate is the rate at which one currency will be exchanged for another. It is also regarded as the value of one country's currency in relation to another currency. We believe that one currency will rise against another. We buy and the strong currency, and we sell the weak currency. Another reason why currency rates move so fast may result to multi-billion naira companies that need to convert large amount of money into another currency. If, for instance, I have a company in Japan and I want to buy, let's say I want to buy spare parts in Japan. Probably I want to buy Toyota parts in Japan. If I have 2 billion naira, I have to convert it to yen. Once I convert to yen, what happens? I can now successfully what? Go and have what they call it. I can now successfully take yen to Japan to go and buy my parts. That's just what exchange rate means. The malams you see on the streets exchanging values or exchanging notes or currencies, they are very good example of forex traders. How you think? And what has occurred is a very good example of what exchange rate. Let me come here and explain some deeper things to you. Now to my screen. Let's say I have an exchange rate. And my exchange rate is Euro GPP. Now, class, my Euro GPP. Let's say my exchange rate for Euro GPP is, okay, class, let's do our quick mathematics. Let's say Euro is 800. Euro can be 800, sorry. Let's say Euro is 400. I am assuming, so you want to say this man is a lodo. I'm just assuming values. I just want to give you an idea of what exchange rate means. And let's say GPP is 800. Class, your mathematics very well. If I come here, it means that 800, 400 divided by 800, zeros cancel zeros. 4 year 1, 4 year 2, and that's 0.5000. Don't worry, I will explain what pips means tomorrow. Now, let's say Mr. Eden calls me and says, oh boy, Mr. Godpower, Euro has increased in the market. I now say, Mr. Eden, what has Euro increased to? And the man says that Euro has increased to 500. If he says Euro has increased to 500, then it means that, let's say the new look of Euro will now be 500. 500 divided by 800. Zeros cancel zeros. Class, your mathematics very well. 5 divided by 8, you should have something like 0.83, blah, 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 something of such. 0.83333 or so. Okay, now, if this is done successfully, now, it means that, let's say Madam Joy calls me, Mr. Godpower, Euro has dropped in the forex market. To what? To 300. Or let's say to 200. So that's 200 divided by 800. Zeros cancel zeros. 2 year 1, 2 year 4. 1 divided by 4 is what? 0.25. Plus, if you observe, there was an increment when Euro increased from here up, and there was a decrement when Euro dropped. In conclusion, I want to say something, and I need you all to pay attention. Whenever Euro increases in the market, I told you that there's base currency and code currency. Whenever Euro increases in the market, are you with me? Now, if Euro should increase, have it in mind that GPP is dropping. You see why I had to show you those two animals. There is no way euro will be increasing, GPP will be increasing. Go and make your research. I repeat, there is no way euro will be increasing, GPP will be increasing. Vice versa. There is no way euro will be decreasing, GPP will be decreasing. I've never seen. At least, I've never seen. So now, if euro is increasing, Mr. Ben, can you please mute yourself, please? And GPP is coming down. It's what you do, class. It means that you should buy in the market. Please, Mr. Ben, can you please mute yourself, please? It means that what? You should buy in the Forex market. Now, when euro now decreases, hey, I move that side. When euro decreases, and GPP increases, what? Oh, sorry, forgive me. When euro decreases and GPP increases, what do? You sell in the Forex markets. Class, if you observe me, and I use two arrows here. My first arrow on euro was blue, and the red arrow going down was on GPP. That was what? That was for a buy. Presently, as I speak, my red arrow is going down, then GPP is going up. That is what? For a sell. That's an indication that what? You should sell in the Forex market. This is, see, I am not saying that Bitcoin and Forex, they don't have similarities. They do, but there's a difference. The difference is the fact that I think the last time I checked, let me even check. Bitcoin is presently at for $5,000, something of such. When I checked this evening, and I remember there was a time Bitcoin got to all-time high. You know, all-time high means that ATH means all-time high. Are you with me? So now, if for instance, Bitcoin increases now, it increases to $80,000, which I pray it seems it will look like $100,000. Class, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to sell at that point. When you sell, you get your profit, you keep your balance or your capital. As it is low now, what do you think people are doing? People are seriously diving to buy it. Are you with me? And do you know one advantage of Forex trading? Let me tell you something that will shock you tonight. One advantage of Forex trading is that if you know how to trade technical analysis, which I will teach you, if you know how to trade technical analysis, Bitcoin will never be a problem. You can always predict when to buy and when to sell. You don't just go and download app and dive into the market, buy. You must have read or you must have gone through the technical analysis before you what? You make your decisions. Are you with me? So that's that. So let's proceed to the next phase class. Please, if you're in the class, please, I'm begging you, don't unmute yourself. Don't worry, I will tell you to ask your questions. Don't worry. Next phase, fundamental analysis. Fundamental analysis is a way of looking at the forex market by analyzing economic, social, and political forces that may affect currency prices. The idea behind this type of analysis is that if a country's currency or future outlook is good, its current strengthens. And the better shape a country's economy is, the more foreign investors and business investors will invest in that country. All these things I just said is story. Let me now explain deeply. Fundamental analysis is a way at which you look at the forex market and make your analysis. For instance, last year precisely, when coronavirus came into the market, what happened? Coronavirus, people made bastard money in this forex business. And also people threw a whole lot of money. Why? I've noticed something whenever the market is affected. The forex market will be very fast rather. Now, if it's fast, there's an indication that at that point, your strategy is what will save you. Are you with me? So fundamental analysis is just a way of looking into forex market. That was an economical situation. Now, around January this year, Joe Biden and Trump, they affected the market. But me, I gained seriously that period. I gained seriously, even though the market was very fast around that January time. That was political forces. Are you with me? Now look at it now. I don't know a country that has a serious disaster right now, but a country whereby there's a serious disaster, nobody will take his money and go and invest there. Are you with me? That can even affect the currency of that country. So that's what it means, that the idea behind this type of analysis is that if a country's currency or future outlook is good, its currency should strengthen. Are you with me? So let's proceed. Technical analysis is the study of price pattern on a particular asset. There are many ways of identifying patterns in the market. You can use Fibonacci level, moving average, MACD, stochastic, RSI, price action strategy, Bollinger Band. You can use Ichimoku Kinku. You can use Williams percent ratio. There are plenty of it. How many will I count? But class, should I tell you something that will surprise you today? Do you know why people fail in this business? Do you know why people fail in this business? They never stick to their strategy. For instance, what works for Mr. Eden can never work for Mr. Madam Mercy. What works for Mr. Young Mark can never work for Mr. Kayode Ibrahim. If, for instance, MACD is working for me, MACD might not work for Mr. Eden. If, for instance, stochastic is working for Mr. Biodun, stochastic might not work for Mr. Kayode. So people confuse themselves with, I know somebody, and I always wonder. Because say, Mr. Gospower, the PDF I have on this Forex is about 230 something. The video I have is almost like 300 something. Can you imagine? You have 200 something PDF. Even me that I'm a coach, I don't have such. I don't have such. I can't go and blow my head. It is better for me to know what works for me, and I will earn daily. For instance, if you have $500, you can get a certain amount you earn daily, and you leave the market. And you know the beauty about this business? If you place a withdrawal today, if you place your withdrawal this night with the broker I'll be teaching you tomorrow, which I use, God is in my heart. You get your money 7 a.m. tomorrow morning in your account. So that is that. Please, we have just 8 minutes to ask our questions. If you have any question, you can ask a question before I go. Please, it is now time for you to ask your questions. Ask your question before I go. While I'm waiting for your question, I'll just really go through the slides again. The first thing I did class, I talked about the introduction of Forex. Then I talked about how much you can earn, what is dropped in Forex market for you and I to profit from. Then the next one I did, I talked about, I showed you a chart about 2 animals, the buyers and the sellers. Then I talked about who trades Forex. I talked about, sorry. I can see someone is training his eye. Don't worry. I will send you both the video and the PDF. I am very sure of that. I'll do that tonight. At most, you will get everything before 10. So I can watch them and you can read them. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Please. Then I also I showed you a flowchart where you have the central banks, major banks, and brokers, so on and so on. I dived into currencies, the base and the quotes. I spoke about Euro USD, GBP USD. I also told somebody, I gave you a class for XAU USD, and someone spoke perfectly. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you. And I dived into exchange rates. I showed you some things on exchange rates, when you should buy, what it means to buy, what it means to sell. And finally, and lastly rather, I spoke about technical analysis, where I talked about all the strategies and indicators you can use. In the technical analysis, I will explain that in subsequent classes. Thank you very much, class. Is there any question before I go? Please ask your questions before I go. Is there any question before I go? Is there any question before I go? Is there any question before I go? All right. If there's no question, okay. If there's no question, I sincerely want to appreciate you all. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming. I mean, I know it wasn't so easy. Today is Monday. I just dived into the Zoom link just to have a very good knowledge of what Forex is. I appreciate you all. Please, tomorrow is another day. You see what I did today? I just came here to just read to you. and to just say something short. Tomorrow's class, we are going to say a lot of things about peace. Please, I am begging you, don't miss tomorrow's class for anything. Don't miss tomorrow's class for anything. If you miss tomorrow's class and you come on Wednesday, I wonder what you will be gaining. I'm not saying you're not getting anything on Wednesday, but Wednesday's class is actually from tomorrow's class. So thank you very much, everybody. Good night. See you all tomorrow. God bless you all. Good night, everybody. Bye.